Two Alpines, two teammates, a good lap and a great lap. With the throttle trace and the brake trace at the bottom of your screen, the chaser delta at the top, and side-by-side onboards to compare the performance of Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso in Saudi Arabia last year. Heading down towards turn number 1, Ocon is subtly more accurate against the first curb, allowing him to squirt the throttle slightly in the mid-corner and steal a little bit of time from Fernando Alonso, who will struggle with his balance all the way through the lap. Like here in turn 4, where we can see he's slightly hesitant to turn in. He will even have to lift subtly in turn 5 with the steering wheel moving around. That's how we see oversteer in these race cars. The steering wheel hesitantly turned, that little bit of extra correction through the exit, and the driver running the car a little wider to try to keep the turn out of it, to try to stop the rear from sliding. That's the difficulty he has, which costs him time all the way through to turn 10. Alonso manages to steal a bit of time back on the way into 13, committing the car slightly later and rolling more speed in, being more direct to throttle. Whereas as you can see on the data trace, Esteban Ocon has to wait slightly on the throttle and won't get back all the way into full beans for a few meters after Alonso. Alonso stealing back around 1/10 of a second on the run down towards turn 16. Alonso will have to overslow the car on the apex of 16 and be extremely accurate against the inside wall, giving himself a bit of extra space on the apex of 17 in case the rear does anything unpredictable. No such issues for Esteban Ocon, who can afford to be very aggressive with the steering wheel and doesn't have to worry about the rear at all through the exit, planting the throttle and gaining time again over Fernando Alonso on their run down to turn 22. In fact, I think Alonso has a critical issue here with the rear of his car and the way it's performing. Here's a graph of the speed of the two cars with Esteban Ocon in blue and Alonso in orange. You can see on the run down to turn 22 that not only is Ocon faster in a straight line, the lines are diverging, showing that the faster the two cars go, the more the difference is between their wheel speed. That indicates that the issue is most likely related to the amount of drag generated by the rear of Fernando Alonso's car. So not only is it not performing in the corners, it's also not performing for Alonso in the straights. I sense frustration starting to creep in for Fernando Alonso as he commits the car slightly faster actually to turn 22 than Esteban Ocon does, but cannot get back to the throttle and loses out again in a straight line on his way down to the final corner of the lap, both losing out on the exit and also losing out in terms of drag on his way down to the braking zone for the final turn. Fernando will again go in slightly hotter and have this bit of extra oversteer on the way in. Ocon finds oversteer finally through the exit, losing out to the tune of about 1/10 to Fernando Alonso, but will still cross the line, 3.5 tenths clear, delivering a great lap for Alpine.